Good afternoon to everyone and welcome to Viewpoint for today. I'm here with my guests and we'll be here with you, our listeners and viewers, straight up until the 1 o'clock hour. For those of you with us via TV Caribbean, good afternoon to you, that's television. And of course, the others might be with us by way of 102.7 or even PGD2 Radio online, or PGD2Radio.com rather. Those who are online listeners and viewers as well, because we're streaming live. Okay, I'm here with the number 2 candidate on the National Alliance slate, and for those of you who have read the paper this morning, you know he was part of the focus. But before we jump into it, I would like to give him an opportunity to at least respond to my invitation to be here, and I just want to say good afternoon to you, Mr. Emmanuel, and nice having you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Moore. Of course, I take this opportunity again to say thanks, because from last week's program, we didn't have enough time to really get into the meat of the matter in terms of answering the questions from a lot of people. So again, I thank you for the opportunity to be back.
All right. You wanted to share some information. I want to start there because I believe it will set the tone for today's discussion before we jump into it head on.
I think enough have been said, and basically I've went over all. I've been very transparent with the information, bringing to the people concerning my choice for the waste to energy and the solution for St. Maarten. No one else has a solution, and no one else is bringing a solution forward. What you're getting now is, leave GB do it, because that's the easy way out and the easy route out that you're hearing from the other individuals. But I just wanted to, because I was on another radio station on the northern side of the island, and I brought the information and I told them this is why we are where we are today. And I also want to give the opportunity to say the same thing here. Okay. So I just want to read something. It says, government violated pre-contractual obligation towards Windward Roads. And it goes on to say, the government violated its pre-contractual obligation towards Windward Roads when it unilaterally terminated negotiations on December 19, 2011, about the construction of a waste-to-energy facility on Pond Island. This appears from the ruling from the court in first instance. The court sentenced the country to pay Windward Roads 60,730 guilders for turnover taxes. Earlier, the country already paid the contractor a bit more than 1 million guilders, a partial settlement on August the 7th, 2013. Windward Roads demands compensation to the tune of 4.5 million guilders. The court allowed the company to present an elucidation about all the damages it is claiming and to substantiate each claim with evidence. The case returns to court on June 13. The court ruling sheds light on a busted negotiation about the construction of a waste-to-energy plant and about the role the government and the government-owned utilities company GEBE played in it. On May 15, 2009, the legal predecessor of Country St. Maarten informed Windward Roads that its proposal for the construction of a solid waste processing facility contained sufficient information to continue with the negotiation phase. The idea that the contractor would finance, build, own, operate, and transfer a facility, a special purpose vehicle company, Agrisol. I want everyone to remember that name, Agrisol. Later to be replaced by Sustainable Waste Services BV, would be paid, hear it now, would be paid by GEBE for the production of energy. But already in the first months after the May 15th confirmation letter, things went out of control. On November 9, 2009, Windward Roads informed Public Works Commissioner Theodore Heiliger that it had not received additional information it needed to secure financing for the project, and that this put the feasibility of the project schedule in peril. The response from the government was that it had no obligations no obligation in this respect, and that obtaining financing was the sole responsibility of Windward Roads. Later that month, after a apparent fruitful contract meeting, the company said that it would have a contract package ready for signing by January 31st, 2010, with a possible extension until March 31st. Everything seems to be on track. In principle, we have finalized the arrangement for securing the capital needed in order to carry out the project in full. A letter to the government dated November 26, 2009 stated, in December, Windward Roads noted that the only pending issue was a business plan for Agrisol, the company that was supposed to get paid by GEBE for the energy production of the facility. On May 16, 2010, Spike Dehan, chairman of the steering committee for the project, suggested to go through the contract one more time and to agree on the adjustments to the original text. That led to an irritated response from Windward Roads on June 3rd. Let me begin by pointing out, and I quote, "The most of the adjustments are caused by you, by changing the payment mechanism. Increasingly, I am getting the impression that you don't care when this process comes to an end. I want to emphasize one more that the National Investment Bank will increase the interest rates if there is no agreement on the level of the Island Council by June 21st. I hope I do not have to explain the consequences of this. Secondly, if there is no agreement in the Island Council by June 21st, then when will this happen? I don't understand anything of this anymore." End quote. Then there is a radio silence until September 1st, 2010, when Dehan asked Windward Roads, "Are you going to adjust the contract based on the last round of comments? If so, when can I expect the adjusted version?" Half October, Dehan has commented on the latest adjustment by the November 5th. He was ready to do business and send the contract by November 11 to consultant Kema. But on December 7, 2010, Minister Theodore Heiliger said in a digital conference that he has diligently examined the work of the Dehan advisor, KPNG and Kema, and said, "I want to make a few issues very clear. Please do not confuse the acceptance of the above mentioned consultants and my approval or consent to go to Parliament. This is a multi-million-dollar project that will mean a great deal, but I must be assured that it is the best interest of my people and in line with the contracts that have been negotiated before. Please do not get into any tantrum, but that is the way it goes. Your investment thus far will come to fruition, but now under due diligence, so patience." On June 10, 2011, Dehan sent an email to GEBE noting that he did not receive any comment on the proposed power purchase agreement, a document that regulates the tariff GEBE will pay to Agrisol for electricity. On March 7, 2011, Dehan mailed to Windward Roads, quote, "No idea or if will you still get a reaction from GEBE. I mailed Brooks a couple of times, but I did not get a reaction." On March 21st, 2011, Windward Roads wrote in a letter to the VROMI department that the company and its partners have invested $3.9 million in the project and that it seems likely that the contract will not be signed by March 31st due to the non-cooperation of GEBE. On July 20th, the Minister of VROMI, Theodore Heiliger, wrote to Windward Roads that it was not the government's responsibility to ensure the cooperation of GEBE. on September 21st, in a reaction to new proposals from the government, Windward Roads noted that the government is looking for a system with a long-term annual maximum capacity, that installation of 70,000 tons, and a construction and demolition installation with a long-term annual maximum capacity of 50,000 tons in combination with optimal storing techniques for glass, steel, and aluminum. In the introduction, these new criteria required, in the view of the contractor, a balanced and fair statement of indemnification. Then on December 19, 2011, the government abruptly terminated the negotiations, mentioning 5 arguments. One of them was dispute about the reliability of the technology. But the government also alleged that Windward Roads failed to inform that the supplier of the technology, WE US, had gone bankrupt. The omission of not informing us did not qualify you as good faith partner in the negotiation, the VROMI Minister Teodoro Heiliger wrote in this letter. The contractor expressed its amazement about the decision in the letter dated May 5, 2012. We are of the opinion that the failure to complete this project is mainly caused by non-compliance of the government of St. Maarten. Windward Roads said that the government made financing impossible, among others, by not delivering on its commitments regarding the power purchase agreement drafts. The letter ended with an invitation for talks about an amicable settlement. On August 7, parties reached a partial settlement for a bit more than 1 million guilders plus 15%. The court went with a tomb comb over all the arguments from both parties and found that the government had no grounds for terminating the contract negotiation. These reasons the country has used as basis for the decision to terminate the negotiations are not in order. The court wrote in its ruling, adding that the country violated the principles of reasonableness and justness, and that the country also violated its pre-contractual obligation towards Windward Roads. This is the reason why we are where we are today. Why all ways to energies that have come before have hit a roadblock. Because the government before of 2009 with Tia Heiliger, Sarah Westcott Williams, and all of them put together with Windward Roads to build a waste to energy plant. It went ballooned up and burst because the company Agrisol that they put in the middle. So you have GEBE would pay Agrisol, and Windward Roads was billing the waste to energy plant. The question here is, who are the owners of Agrisol? 2% went to whom? Another percentage went to whom? Who are the players in that company called Agrisol? Windward Roads launched a court case to sue the government for 4.5 million guilders. Their partnered company in Curacao, the father of that company committed suicide because his company went bankrupt, because they did all the work, all the financing that brought them up to 3.9 million, and they lost the contract that Theodore Heiliger terminated illegally. So they cannot, so when they come and they say they're going to do waste to energy, they cannot do it. So here I am as minister gone into government with a $4.5 million lawsuit hanging over my head as Minister of VROMI from Windward Roads because of a deal that went bad. I told Windward Roads and I told the Ministry of VROMI, I said no department is to do business or work with Windward Roads as long as Windward Roads has the government of St. Maarten in litigation. I didn't sit with no lawyer. I didn't sit with no advisor. I sat with my chief of staff, the owner and managing director of Windward Roads came in. Mr. Boncampo was there as head of Bahia Deans came in. We negotiated. I told him what it is country St. Maarten owes you. Mr. Moore, from 4.5 million guilders, Minister Christophe Emmanuel settled with Windward Roads for 300,000 guilders. And the case was closed and there was no more litigation, nothing hanging over the head of the government of St. Maarten. So, from 4.5 million guilders, I settled that case for 300,000 guilders. And they want to say that I didn't work and I didn't do anything. And they are digging up and they are putting out all kind of stuff. Put out the truth and put out the facts. Who owned Agrisol and who was going to collect and get the money from GEBE? Who? I can tell you this. All the individuals who was in government back then are owners and shareholders of Agrisol. Okay? So you see what happens now as I speak. Here I am, here I come. And I'm mashing up and I'm busting up their money train. So under no circumstances should he allow to do that and get that done. So now what they do, they throw GEBE in the midst. Okay? You're going to financially cripple GEBE. You was bringing a company, Agrisol, with Windward Roads at 32.7 American cents. Hear what I'm saying? 32.7 American cents. I am bringing 26 cents. But when you was doing it, that wasn't going to cripple GEBE. But now it's going to cripple GEBE. And it's unfortunate that the minister would come up in a press briefing and make a statement as such, because then my next question is, your statement is based on what? Just from the management of GEBE? Where's the study from PricewaterhouseCoopers? Where's the study from Kema? Who did the analysis that comes up with that basis that is going to cripple GEBE? The statement from the management and from the government is based on what? It's based on what?
So you're saying that this is baseless in terms of what is printed in the newspaper?
It's baseless what is printed in the newspaper. And I say it all the time. It's unfortunate that these things happen, because I keep repeating myself. When you don't read the paper, you're uninformed. And when you do read the paper, you're misinformed. And this is the kind of journalism and the work that the Daily Herald is doing now.
Did you give any consideration to bring that type of information out even before you are now bringing it out, in terms of what you had to move out of the way in order for you to be able to get going with this waste to energy?
When I started to do the research, and then all these things started to come up, and it's then I started to get the idea. I said, but okay, these are the reasons why nothing could have gotten done. These are the reasons why nothing could have gotten done. Because you see here where the money is going. You see where the money is playing. But I'm a minister, and you're in a government, so you won't divulge that type of information. It's irresponsible. But I'm not a minister now. I'm not a minister now. I'm a regular citizen. But I have this information, and the people of St. Maarten have a right to know. So when you hear them talking and saying all the things that they're saying, right? I am saying to the people of St. Maarten, it is absolutely not true. It is not true. The difference here, and I tell people, do the calculations. 26 cents is about 47 cents Dutch. They are saying that GB produces for 18 and 19 cents. Yes, you are right. But that is without the fuel clause. When you add in the fuel clause, it comes up to about 50, 51, 52 cents. And I am at 47 cents. So 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 50. You have a basis of 5 cents to play with. But here's the thing. It's a plant that is a 9.2 megawatt plant. And the cents is at 26 cents per kilowatt. How much kilowatt, how many kilowatts make up a megawatt? When you do the calculation, a cent for the kilowatt, that makes up the megawatt, and you play the difference of 5 cents, and if you get in 2 cents, you're over 5 and 10 and 15 million dollars, guilders. That is what they are playing with. So they look at the proposal, they watch the proposal, and in their brains they are saying, oh my God, this is what Emmanuel is going to make. He got to be making something from it. He got to be part of something, because that's how they think. That's their thinking.
So you think that played a role in why the rest of the board members of GB did not sign?
No, I am saying the rest of the board members of GEBE probably legitimately is doing their due diligence, and they're asking for more information. And that's their right. That's their right. But if you're going to come out and say, management says this, so why is management not saying it? Why don't management hold a conference? Why don't management come out with the truth and say the things that is really accurate? You as minister can't simply make a statement, and a bold statement at that, with no factual documentation to substantiate and prove what you're saying. Because now my question is going to cripple GEBE based on what? Based on what? It's going to cripple GEBE. You got to come and give some kind of answers. But what I wanted to highlight is, look where the owner of Windward Roads is today. Look where he is today. And clearly you can see in the deal, you can pick out all the deals that was being made from 2011. From 2011. If Windward Roads is building a waste to energy plant, why do you need a middle company? Why must GEBE pay Agrisol? Then who pays Windward Road? Who pays Windward Road? So you have GEBE, you have Agrisol, and then you have Windward Roads. Why do you have that middle company in between? There is where the money was flowing through.
As we go to a break, do you have an idea who owns it?
We'll talk about that when we come back from the break.
With that said, then let's go to a break, and when we come back, we'll continue, along with your phone calls, with Christophe Emmanuel, the number 2 candidate on the National Alliance slate. Be right back. And welcome back to Viewpoint for today. Mr. Christophe Emmanuel is here with me for the full hour. We are now on the second side of what was going on. He read quite a lengthy statement at the start for those of you who may have joined late. That statement was in regards to why we are at the stage we are at, and I want to thank him for sharing that information, although I asked him how in the world we didn't know anything about this stuff before, but he gave his answer in relation to information that should not be divulged in the position that he's in. He's no longer there, so here it is. Yeah, well, oh yeah, that's true. The phones are open, guys, for those of you who would like to call and speak to Mr. Emmanuel or make a statement in regards to the subject of discussion today. But I want to go back on the newspaper article this morning that says that if this thing that Christophe Emmanuel has been talking about has to go through, it certainly would have really wiped GEBE out, and I'm sure he would want to speak to the fact that that is a concern for many, and the spin on that would definitely mean that we have to take a second look at what you were proposing, and you claim you had a plan.
Yeah, but of course the solution is there. And imagine, here I am as a minister, seeing a situation, a grave situation as it is, and I'm going to bring a solution to this country that's going to cripple our utility company, that's going to send home people from work. Absolutely not true. But you see, Mr. Moore, when you want to beat a dog, you'll find any kind of stick to do that.
Yeah.
They don't have no solution.
Can I take a call?
Yes, you can.
Because there's
Yes,
a
you
caller
can.
line. So let's go to the telephones and say good afternoon to a caller. You're on, caller. Go ahead.
When Wendell, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Hi, Chris. What's up?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Not too bad on you. Who God bless, no man curse. I know you are a man of principles and keep it that way because you know I would get on your back. You know that.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. All the politicians who saying about whenever my people, I think they should refrain from that because they don't care about us. They don't. So when Sarah and T and all their entourage do their stuff, everybody else goes to jail except for them. But every hog has its Saturday. So now you will continue the program with the information that I gave you concerning Maho and Great Bay Hotel. Anyway, Chris, thank you.
All right.
Good job. Okay,
Thank you very much.
bye-bye.
Thank you for the call. All right. Go ahead. You want to
Yes.
respond?
You know, and I know exactly what the caller is talking about. You know, Wendell, I also listened to a program where Mr. Heidegger was on the air and he said this is going to put workers out of job and out of work, and he can't accept that can't happen. And then he make mention about the basketball court that I said the NBA size basketball court that I designated down at Great Bay, across from Great Bay for the down street Fort William youngsters, because right now they're playing basketball on sand and dirt. And he said that the land was sold as part of the hotel, but that's fraud, that's illegal, and that's corruption.
How so?
Because the land does not belong to the hotel. It belongs to the people of St. Maarten. It belongs to the government of St. Maarten. So how can you sell land that doesn't belong to you? And then he goes on to say that if you're occupying a piece of property, you should have access to it. And then I start to think, I said, but how can you be saying one thing in the corner of your mouth here and then the actions in the other corner of your mouth? Lee Roadside Grill was occupying the restaurant in Simpson Bay. Lee Roadside Grill, everyone knows Lee. For more than 30 years, Lee is occupying that business. You, Mr. Theodore Heidegger, sign that property over to someone else. Give it to someone else. That today, Lee is out of business and 30 workers is out of a job. That is not hearsay, Mr. Moore. That is facts, not hearsay. So you're protecting Great Bay, and when the hotel is sold to Sunwing, so you're protecting the Spadaros for something that doesn't belong to them. But on the second hand, you're putting a St. Martiner and St. Martiners out of work for something that they have been using for more than 30 years. That they had put in request to own and use. But what did you do? You gave it to someone else that came to St. Maarten and met Lee there. And today, Lee Roadside Grill is closed. The 30 employees are out of a job and home. But you see, when they come on the programs, no one questions them. The newspapers doesn't write those stories. But that's a fact. And it's not that 30% of GEBE workers is going to lose their job. It's that 30% of your profits that you and your family continue to make with the lubricants and the oils for the generator off of the backs of GEBE is what you're going to lose. That's what it is.
I need to take a call for you, sir. Good afternoon, caller. You're on.
Hello, good afternoon. I just would like to take this opportunity to thank Chris for the job well done and second to kick off the good work.
Thank
Alright.
you. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
caller.
All right. Okay, so where do we go from here now?
Where we go from here is the people of St. Maarten has an opportunity to fix all those wrongs. To fix all those wrongs. And I'm asking them to allow the work to continue. Because what they are saying about it is absolutely not true.
Let me take another call for you. Good afternoon, caller. Go right ahead. You're on.
Yeah, good afternoon, Wendell.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Christopher.
Yes, sir.
Wendell, if you won't come to the newspaper, that's why I stopped buying the Daily Herald. Like like today, they put in certain people named Big and Broad, but the others initial so and so. That newspaper was never good. That's why I stopped buying it. Now, what I don't understand, the minister said about the solution for the dump, it will cripple GB, and that's it. He just throw it on and leave it right there. So you don't even know where he coming, if he coming left or if he coming right. So you don't know.
Yeah.
Another thing again, I heard one of your candidates said that they need people who got a law degree to work in parliament, right? But what I don't understand is have a lot of locals in Maarten who support and who do not support the party, got law degree, and they never employ them in parliament. So they're saying one thing, just to say they're saying it, but in reality they're doing it. And Christopher knew who I'm talking about. I mean, my sister called two colors, the color before the other color. That was my sister. So, and Christopher knew who that talking because you know me. And another thing again, they said that the former Minister of Finance did not do a good job. But it doesn't go into the details. They're just throwing it out and leave it there. They have to go into details and say why, what happened. And the last when come to Lee, I find Lee had to be there. So I don't know why when come, it look like when you are local, you black, you shouldn't have nothing. That is what certain people say. And which I find it is wrong. Local have to be first. They got to be number one. But not here. From the time you are local, you black, and you got a kind of a color, that's it. You strike out already. Anyway, Wendell, take care. Christopher, take care. Bye.
Thank you. And I just want to squeeze this in here that the newspapers have the awesome responsibility to support these things with as much information so that the reader can that is their responsibility. So some of those comments, I hope they're listening, and it should be directed to them. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So my thing is.
You have a call? All right. Hold on a second. Let's
Well,
take
we did say we'll give the callers the chance. Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, caller. You're on. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. I want to know if Christopher, if he registered to sing that calypso on the stage as yet. Because I like his lyrics. All right, so that I go upstairs by the Windward Bank, you will see the big belly fella upstairs there. Put down your name to sing for this competition.
All right, thank you.
All right.
A little lighter note, basically. Yeah, but respond to what the caller had just said a moment ago.
Which one? Because there was two callers.
The gentleman who was referring to the information. Let's take another call for you, and then we get to the bottom of all this. Good afternoon, caller. You're on. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Wendell. Good afternoon, Christopher.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'd like to say, first of all, thanks, Christopher, for bringing out the information which the people need to know. Okay? What you've mentioned there about the whole agri-zone thing with Windward Road, it reminds us also of when the same commissioner and now MP, who was also commissioner for GEBG, didn't do anything for donkey years about alternative means for GB to be able to generate electricity. Then he had a brilliant idea about propane gas. We heard that talk when they were thinking about converting GB engines from heavy fuel to propane gas. They did a similar thing as far as the information that came up. A company was established in the Dominican Republic to purchase the propane gas from the Dominican Republic, and then a company was established locally to purchase from the company in Santo Domingo, and then to sell it to GEBE. So that's 1, 2, 3 steps before GB actually got it. And then we are supposed to believe that it was going to be cheaper.
Yeah.
How? Every time they put a company in between to benefit them, they must get the profit first. The same thing is happening right now with every penny of fuel that is bought by GEBE. There is the family that is getting their kick out of that. And the people can't get low electricity because of who has the benefit.
Yeah.
These are the things that must stop. Thank you, Chris, once again.
All right.
Thank you very much.
I'm not even going to allow you to go back to responding to this gentleman because I don't know what you're going to say. You've been talking about this newspaper issue all along.
Yeah.
But looking for trust, Christopher, is what I believe the voters are looking for.
Yeah.
And we are finding it difficult to find the people who we can put our trust in, because when we get squeezed from people like in the Netherlands, are we going to look to ourselves to be self-managing and to move forward? How do you respond?
Mr. Moore, I have been a minister that inherited a grave problem that is 47 years old. And realize this, and because you came into the press briefing and asked questions also, and I would tell you, we have gone 3 months without a fire or smoke, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. We only react to the landfill when it's on fire. No one else says nothing. But for a whole year, I have been hammering and talking about the landfill. A whole year. Nobody else had nothing to say. You never heard anything from anyone else. Not Theodore Heiliger, not anyone, not Sarah Westcott Williams, nothing you heard from them. You're hearing them now. Why? Because your minister brought and have a solution to curtail and fix that problem. And they don't have anything. So what are they going to do now? Or leave GB do it? But how can you look at the company and say that 70 million is going to bankrupt or cripple GEBE? Right now, GEBE is asking the World Bank for $120 million to do waste to energy. Right now. So when the managers or the management of GEBE put out the information and say it's going to cripple GEBE, explain to the people of St. Maarten how 120 million is not going to cripple GEBE. But here you have a company that is building, designing, financing, maintaining, operating, and then transferring for 70 million. So they are saying it can be built and done for 70 million. GEBE now is coming and asking the World Bank for 120 million. Look at the difference. 70 million, 120 million. Let's play with what is in between. 30 and 20 is 50 million. Where is that going? Where is the difference of 50 million going? Where is that going to go? Because here's a solution for 70 million. You are asking for 120 million. Again, the continuation of the gravy train. That's why I'm saying to the people of St. Maarten, we have to mash it up. What they're saying, mash it up. You have to dismantle that money train that they continue to use government and government-owned companies as their business. As their business. You know, you made mention that the governor is not signing the LB because he have grave concern. The LB was sent to the governor. The governor did his due diligence. He did his research. He sent it back with questions. That's the prerogative and the right of the governor. But it's not that the governor refused to sign because of those things. No, the governor asked for additional information to be placed into the LB.
And did you supply that information?
And we supplied that information. Oh, and then you make mention that the government is going to assist with long lease land. But the land is already put aside for a waste to energy facility on Pond Island. And they have to pay their turnover taxes. They can ask for a tax exemption, but they got to pay their long lease, they got to pay their air back. But you are bringing 70 million investment to the country, and you don't expect to get help from government?
All right, let me take the final call for you, sir. Good afternoon, caller. You're on.
Yes,
Go ahead.
good afternoon, Mr. Moore. Good
Yes.
afternoon, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good afternoon.
A question, Mr. Emmanuel. It was on the news recently that you did not upgrade the contract for the garbage that had some flaws in it. Could you shed a little light on that for me, please? Because it seems like this garbage is a whole mess here in St. Maarten. I could recall a couple years back where the school children was saying that Theo was selling the garbage for 50 cents US. So I don't know if he's still in that same track, but if you could throw a little light on the garbage for me, I'd kind of appreciate it where that is concerned. Thank you and have a good day.
I believe, as it appears in the article, that we might need more garbage that we don't have to be able to make this proposal possible.
Let me explain again. Country St. Maarten, the people of St. Maarten, we produce 300 tons of garbage a year. 300 tons of garbage a year. The government of St. Maarten have to give up 720 million megajoules of garbage. 10 tons that is in the agreement, but I stand to be corrected. 10 tons of garbage per year. But even if that is the case, the landfill as it states right now is at 43 meters high. The life expectancy of the garbage have lived out 20 years ago. All that is there is only garbage. It's only garbage.
Under the hill.
Under the hill. I'm not talking about a secondary landfill. I'm talking about a first landfill. There's enough garbage there right now for 15 years. Enough garbage. And then we are talking about garbage that is still to go there. All the demolishing goes there. So when you hear these sort of things coming out, right, you question, but why is it that you're not getting the right information to make such a statement?
Christopher, I have to take one final call for you.
Sure, no problem.
This is one on, and then you have to think about how you're going to wrap up. Good afternoon, caller. You're on.
Good afternoon. I want to thank Chris for his encouragement, even though he's not in government right now. Keep doing the beautiful job you're doing and helping to make St. Maarten move forward.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, caller.
Seems like a lot of people are understanding what you're bringing forward.
People are catching on because whilst we are playing games with this, Aruba sent a RFI, request for information on EnviroGreen, to solve their garbage problem. They're asking for the information. They're asking for it. But we are playing games here in St. Maarten with it. Why we are playing games here in St. Maarten with it? Because under no circumstances should I leave Emmanuel bring this.
Are you getting anything out of
Not, yes, I'm getting something of it.
What is it?
The removal of the landfill. The people of St. Maarten
No
is getting that.
financial.
Absolutely not. I don't even know how to play that game. I don't know how it works. I don't know about that. But you see, it bothers them. It bothers them that it's impossible because they are doing the math.
When will we ever get to the bottom of deciding that we have to do things for country?
And that is what this is all about. Doing it for country. And I ask the people of St. Maarten to allow me to continue this work because I'm doing it for you. Because you elected me to Parliament. I was appointed minister and I told you I'm going to fix it. And that is what I set out doing.
I have to let it be the final word.
Thank you very much.
You are number two.
Number two candidate, the National Alliance slate.
All right. Folks, Christophe Emmanuel, former minister of Romi. We want to thank you for listening and for contributing, those of you who called. We'll be back here again tomorrow with another interesting guest. Please join us then. But we have to leave you now. Until until next time, thanks, Mr. Emmanuel. Until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.